Hello everyone, welcome to online classes of Semstar Global School. This is Abhishek Sharma and I am here to teach you English Literature of Class 5. We are doing chapter number 4, Greedy Govind. This is part 3 and the second part of explanation. Just then, Govind realized that something was missing. What is the meaning of realized? Understood something or noticed. We forgot to get the khandvis, he cried. He jumped up and ran to the kitchen so he could eat a few before he brought the plate out for the rest of the family. Govind, said his brothers together, you have got a tail. And so he had. In fact, Govind was not Govind Gulati any longer. He was looking like a strange green creature with a snout. What is the meaning of snout? The long nose and area around the mouth of some types of animals such as a pig, and big ears that stood straight up and a tail that went round and round. All this time he had thought that there was nothing wrong with him and his brothers were joking. Govind could not talk any more. He tried very hard, but the only sound he could make was a weak snort. What is the meaning of snort? A loud sound made by breathing air out noisily through your nose. A sad snort. It sounded as if he knew he had been far too greedy that morning. He was now awfully sorry. What is the meaning of awfully? Very or extremely. He would not have turned into this strange creature had he not been so greedy. Suddenly, Govind noticed that something was missing there. He cried that they had forgotten to eat the khandvis. He had jumped up and run to the kitchen because he wanted to eat a few khandvis before he had brought the plate of khandvis out for the others. All his brothers together said to him that he had got a tail. Now he had a tail too. In fact, he was not Govind Gulati anymore. Now he turned into a green creature with a long nose and big ears that stood straight up and a tail that went round and round. When all these things were happening, he had still thought that nothing happened to him, and his brothers were joking. After some time, Govind was not able to talk anymore. He was trying hard to speak, but only he could make was a loud sound through his nose. Now he realized that how greedy and selfish he had become that morning. He felt very sorry for his greediness. Now he understood that why he had turned into this green creature. Because of his greediness. If only he could become himself again, thought Govind, he would certainly not be selfish anymore. Mummy then brought the gulab jamuns and vanilla ice cream left over from the party the day before. There were only 3 gulab jamuns left in the bowl. Govind requested each of his brothers to take one. Within seconds, his tail disappeared. When it was time to serve the ice cream, he first served the others before taking a spoonful. As soon as he did this, his ears went back to normal. There was a little ice cream still left. The Govind really wanted to eat it. He offered it to Mummy instead. At that very moment, his nose shrunk back to its usual size. What is this meaning of shrunk? became smaller in size. What is the meaning of usual? Normal. So, when he realized why all these happened to him, he had decided that he would not be selfish anymore. Then, his mother had brought the gulab jamuns and vanilla ice cream which were left over from the party they had yesterday. There were only 3 gulab jamuns. Govind had requested to each his brothers to take one. Suddenly, in a second, his tail disappeared. While he was serving the ice cream, he had served to his brothers first, then he had taken a spoonful. As soon as he did this, his ears went back to normal. When he saw that little ice cream is left, he wanted to eat it, but he offered it to his mother instead. As soon as he had done this, his nose had come back to its normal size. However, Govind still had a green face. How could he do something else that was not selfish and greedy? What is the meaning of selfish? It means caring about yourself only. When lunch was over, Govind ran to the kitchen to help Mummy wash the dishes. That seemed to do the job. Within seconds, the green color on his face disappeared and he was a normal boy once more. Govind ran to the mirror. He was so happy to see that he looked like himself once again. Govind shook his head and promised himself never to be selfish and greedy again. What happened next? Govind still had a green face. Now he was thinking to do something else that was not selfish and greedy. When the lunch was over, he ran to the kitchen and he helped his mother to wash the dishes. It was a good job and it was without any selfishness and greediness. As soon as he had done this, in a second, the green color on his face disappeared and he was a normal boy, Govind Gulati, once more. Govind ran to the mirror to see himself. He was too happy to see that he looked himself once again. Govind promised himself that in future he would never to be selfish and greedy again. The moral of the story to children is to avoid being greedy because greed can make you struggle for things you do not need. Greed makes you fight for things at all cost without caring about your health and the well-being of others, just like Govind. Thank you, and I hope that you all have enjoyed this story. Have a nice day.